Hare Krishna. Welcome to Sri Sri Radha Temple for the Sunday Love Feast program. This morning we're very fortunate to have with us Her Grace, Krsangi Radhe Mataji. Please welcome Mataji to the Vyasasan. Hare Krishna. Today's topic is based on Srimati Radharani, and the topic is entitled The Goddess of Divine Love. So now hand you over to Her Grace, Krsangi Radhe Mataji. Hare Krishna.
All right. Should be. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Oh, thank you. That's wonderful. So I can hear that you are all here and you're all present in this beautiful temple, Sri Sri Radha Radhanath Temple right here in Chatsworth. I'd like to warmly welcome you to the Sunday Love Feast program, and it's so beautiful to be here in the temple. So therefore I said, let's say a bright and a loud Hare Krishna, and that evokes just such special energy, because that's why we're here, right? To be surrounded with good energy, to have sadhu sangha, to have each other's association, to be in the presence of Sri Sri Radha Radhanath. And I feel so humbled and honored to be able to speak a few words as we build up to Sri Radha Astami next weekend. So on that note, I'd like for you to join in singing with me Jaya Radha Madhava. As we do at the beginning of any discourse, Srila Prabhupada has set a wonderful standard for us to follow in these practices. And I'd like for you to join in, because when we hear, we chant together, we just evoke so much more auspiciousness. So you can follow and you can enjoy this bhajan. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Yashodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Braja Yamuna Tira Vanachari Natira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Anandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Radhanata Radha Radhanata Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Nittai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nittai Gaur Hari Bol Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Their Lordship Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So today, the Sunday Love Feast, we'd be reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's a very short verse. Adhya Leela, chapter 4, text 214. If you could repeat after me. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Advaita Chandra Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Sri Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Charitamrita Adhya Leela 4.214. Se Gopi Gana Madhye Uttama Radhika Rupe Guna Sobhagya Preme Sarva Radhika. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: among the gopis, Srimati Radhika is the foremost. She surpasses all in beauty, in good qualities, in good fortune, and above all, in love. Purport: among all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most exalted. She is the most beautiful, the most qualified, and above all, the greatest lover of Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ginanjana Salakaya Chakshurum Militam Jaina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhlishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadanti Swam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpata Rubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. And once again, welcome to the Sunday Love Feast program as a preliminary to Shri Shri Radha Astami, which we are looking forward to celebrating next weekend. And I pray for the divine blessings of the Acharyas and of all the Vaishnavas present so that I could speak some words that may touch the heart today. So, as we've just read from Srila Prabhupada, from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and it's such an interesting fact that when we look at the glories of Srimati Radharani, there's such vast information in the Vedas, in the Puranas, in the Padma Purana, in Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's so much that is being said, has been said by our Acharyas. because Radharani is such an important part of Krishna. And when I was presented with this topic of the divine love, or the greatest love, or Srimati Radharani as that great symbol of love, and I thought to myself, well, where do I begin? Because as human beings, we are all in search of love. I don't think any one of us seated here in our hearts, deep within our hearts, are able to say that we don't wish to be loved and we don't wish to love. Whether it's a parent and child relationship, whether it's a partner, a husband and wife relationship, in whatever aspect or time of our life, that yearning to love and be loved is there. Now, very simply put, that's our innate quality as human beings. The jiva, the atma, that's seated within our soul. Krishna is within us, each and every one of us. And one of those qualities is that need for that love. So when we talk about Radharani, and the topic for today is her divine love, her love is divine. For the simple reason Srila Prabhupada actually says, and it's so interesting because in the Brahma Samhita, Srila Prabhupada speaks very clearly about the position of Srimati Radharani. And I'd like for you to just take this in a build-up to Radhastami next week. So as we prepare ourselves for the ultimate celebration of Radhastami, we have this mood of understanding who Srimati Radharani is, what is her position, and how can we connect with that divine love. Because remember, all of us have that jiva, that atma within us. So let's use this as a conduit for the next week to develop that loving relationship with Srimati Radharani, because she is the divine lover of Krishna. So in order to get to Krishna, who is Bhagavan, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, how do we go to him? How do we approach him? So this is the mood in which I'd like for us to kind of shift so that we can take in preparation for next week. So Srila Prabhupada says in the Brahma Samhita, so here the Lord Krishna and Radharani, that is the same Krishna and Radharani who are in Goloka Vrindavan. So if we have to look at the deities, Srila Prabhupada says the deities of Radha and Krishna are the same as the Radha and Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. It is simply expansion to give us facility to accept our service. So the deities are the expansion of that Radha and Krishna in Vraja, in Vrindavan. And they are here for us to accept, for them to accept our service. I think I have given many times this example. And this is Srila Prabhupada now. Just like in front of your door there is a small mailbox. And Srila Prabhupada gives this very simple, nice example, very simplistic. There's a mailbox. That mailbox, although it appears as a small box, but it is a post office, right? It is not different from the post office. So if you want to go, previously, now we all have technology and we all have email and WhatsApp facility, and communication is easy. But previously we had the telegram. And you had to pay per word. I remember when you had to actually go and send a telegram. It was a long process. Or we'd had to write a letter or a postcard and go to the post office, buy a stamp. Put the stamp on. I don't know how many of you remember that. The younger generation, my daughters definitely will not remember that. It would be foreign to them. But for us, we'd remember to buy the stamp and go to the post office. It was such a mission, you know, to plan your day as such. Go to the post office and post the letter or post the postcard. And then the recipient will receive it maybe 1 week later, depending where the destination is. But that post box and the post office is one in the same. So what Srila Prabhupada is saying, that the deity here that we have within our temple of Radha and Krishna, they are the same as that Radha and Krishna that we find in Vrindavan. So we should not take that we are coming here to the temple and we are just performing some acts of service, or we are sitting here today and we are not in the presence of Radha and Krishna. Actually, we are. Because this temple is the post office to Goloka Vrindavan. And we've made the effort to actually be here. So Srila Prabhupada says, the practical example is that you place your letters within the box and it goes thousands and thousands of miles away. Therefore, it is the post office. Do not think that it is different from the post office. So when we come here to the temple, or when we worship even at home, when we chant in our beads, that is the messenger to that divine love. That is the messenger to that ultimate post office, to that Radha and Krishna in Vraja, in Vrindavan. Now, when we look at Srimati Radharani and her position, and many people say, well, who is that girl with Krishna? Krishna is such that he has all the gopis around him. And Srila Prabhupada also says that, who are we to question? And that's an interesting answer. Because, and it's a very simple example also, and I love Srila Prabhupada's examples because he brings it down in a very simplistic way. In that when we go to school, we start in grade R or pre-primary. We start at a very basic level. And then we work our way up to primary school, to high school, to university, bachelor's degree, honors, masters, whatever else we may climb the ladder. So when we ask these questions about God, about Bhagavan, about Krishna, we have to start at grassroots. We can't just achieve our PhD, our master's degree, without having the basic knowledge. So, and that is why Srila Prabhupada's books are there. That is why we have Guru. That is why we come here together like this. So we have those basic understanding to take all of this far more seriously, to get to that level where we can really question and be able to understand the answers. Because we could have all these wonderful answers, but are we on that level of understanding? Are we on the level of taking this in? So Srila Prabhupada explains that there's no higher understanding of the reality of love between Radha and Krishna. And this is an important, I want you to listen to this line very carefully. Krishna has expanded himself into Radharani eternally. Now, listen to this. So Srila Prabhupada says he expanded himself. It's past tense. But in the same line, we are using a present continuous tense. Eternally. Right? So present and continuous. It's eternal expansion. So he has already done this. He's expanded himself, but it is eternally ongoing. So that is the nature, it's an inconceivable nature of this relationship between Radha and Krishna. So Krishna's done this, it's a past, it's done. He's expanded himself, but it's a present continuous, future continuous tense of eternally, that expansion is going to be ongoing. So Krishna expands himself limitlessly to taste love and to be loved. So we have that divine love seated within all of us. If we just have to take a moment to delve deep within, we connect to that supreme love, right, to Krishna. He is there within our heart. So he is with us limitlessly. Through all the jivas, he is there. It's a limitless expansion. But Radharani's expansion of Krishna, she is known as Ladhini Shakti, which is the pleasure potency of Krishna. Now, we all ask Krishna, we come to him, we pray, we seek divine mercy, blessings, guidance, whatever it is. But as God, who is he exchanging that sort of love with? That is Srimati Radharani. So that Ladini Shakti, or that pleasure potency, is found in his expansion of Srimati Radharani. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, one of our great acharyas, explains that Sri Radha is there to give pleasure to Krishna, and Krishna nourishes all living beings. So she is the source, and Srila Prabhupada is very clear on this. And in so many different purports and so many different classes that Srila Prabhupada has spoken about Srimati Radharani, he mentions that Krishna is described as the fire, the energetic. But Radharani is the heat, she is the energy. So you cannot take away the energy and the energetic. They're one in the same. Am I right? Imagine that. If you have the sun, the source, and you have the sunshine. So without the source of the sun, there's no sunshine. So the energy and the energetic, one in the same. However, this pleasure potency of Ladini Shakti, of Srimati Radharani, is the most glorious because it is impossible to separate the energy and the energetic. It's impossible to separate the sun and the sunshine. So when we look at Radha, we see Krishna. When we look at Ram, we see Sita Devi. Actually, when we see Sita, we see Ram. When we see Radha, we see Krishna. Because that is the potency of the Shakti Devi, of Srimati Radharani. So Krishna is also known as the Ishaya, which is the supreme object of all love. And Radha is the Ashraya, which is the supreme abode. So she is the source of that love. Now, we go and we present ourselves to Krishna and we say, oh, Krishna, 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 Krishna. But if we go to the source of the love, how much better would that be? So that is the divine love of Srimati Radharani. Their lordships, Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So when Srila Prabhupada describes this eternal loving relationship, it is not on the material plane. It is in the plane of the Rasa dance or the Rasa Leela, the original happiness within us all. Now, if we look at the difference between material and spiritual love, right? We are in this material plane. We are all human beings. We are mortal beings. And as I said earlier, we are seeking this material love. And what happens with material love? Anyone can tell me? Any brave person who'd like to tell me? And by far, I am not going to generalize. But often there's hurt. There's pain. There's disappointment. There's sadness. Not all the time. But material nature is such, right? And I can see so many smiles here. Material nature is such that when we seek love within another material being, that dependency is created. And what happens? We are never satisfied. But when we seek spiritual love, Krishna gives us unlimited love back. Nothing. He seeks nothing. As simplistic as it is in the Bhagavad Gita, it says, offer me a fruit, flower, leaf, or water. Nothing more. But with love and devotion. So that mood of love to God, and ultimately the deeper source of that love, which is Srimati Radharani. Imagine if we approach Srimati Radharani with such love. How pleased would Krishna be? If we go to the source, if we go to the energy instead of the energetic, Krishna would be so pleased. So when we go to that source of spiritual love and we offer ourselves with deep gratitude, with deep prayer, in a mood of servant, our life will be perfected. So we don't need to seek that material love. Yes, we all have our different roles here in this material world. But the ultimate love is the love for Radha and Krishna. And Krishna too wants to experience this pleasure potency. Krishna too, he says, everybody's coming to me and saying, Krishna, I want this, Krishna, I want that, and we're going with this prayerful way. But he also wants to enjoy his pastimes. So therefore, he's expanded to Srimati Radharani. And this is the enjoyment of the soul. That is the true nature, because you'll never be disappointed. In the love for God, in the love for Srimati Radharani, who is the topmost gopi, you will never be disappointed. That is guaranteed, because that is spiritual love. Now remember, Krishna is the possessor. We know he's Bhagavan. He's the possessor of all these wonderful qualities. Right? He's the possessor of greatest wealth, the greatest beauty, in all of the spiritual and material worlds. And he knows everything. He possesses the ultimate knowledge. Yet, Krishna is attracted to Radharani. Imagine her potency. That this Bhagavan, this greatest person, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, but he is attracted to Srimati Radharani. And Srila Prabhupada again describes from all the gopis of Vraja, from all the 18,000 gopis of Vraja, there's 108 gopis that are most prominent. Of the 108 gopis that are prominent, there are 8 gopis that are even more prominent. Of the 8, there are 2 that are even more prominent. And of the 2, the most prominent, any guesses? Srimati Radharani. So from all the gopis of Vraja, Srimati Radharani's love wins Krishna's heart, time and time again, because that is an expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we look at bhakti, that bhakti comes from within our heart. And prema bhakti, the prema, the divine love, is seated as the ultimate love of Srimati Radharani. So therefore, when we look at this loving relationship, and the topic says the divine love of Srimati Radharani, that is the ultimate position. When we go to Radharani, we pray to her, please, can we get your blessing? And she, remember now, so if you go to the pleasure potency of this expansion and she puts a good word for you to Krishna, your path is sorted. As simple as that. You go to Radharani, you approach her. When we are serving in the deity department, when we are serving in the kitchen, cooking for Krishna, it's not Krishna's kitchen, it's Radharani's kitchen. So in whatever prayer, whatever mood we are in, and we want to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we approach that person that's closest to him. And that person that's closest to him is Srimati Radharani, because her love actually just really surpasses anything. Srila Prabhupada describes also how Srimati Radharani is the supreme energy, right? The supreme energy of this world. And she has limitless energy of Krishna. And there's 3 most prominent energies. The Sandhini, which is the energy that maintains all spiritual existence. That's Sandhini. Then we have Samvit, which is the energy that enables all living beings in the capacity to know Krishna. So like us, in order for us to know Krishna and try and understand Krishna, try and approach Krishna, we look at that energy of Samvit, where that energy enables all of us, all living entities like us, to approach Krishna. And then there's that Ladhini, which we spoke about earlier, the Ladhini Shakti, which is the ultimate source of pleasure for Krishna. So remember, Krishna Sachid Ananda, the ultimate knowledge bliss, but Radharani is the Ladhini Shakti that gives the Sachidananda, the greatest person, his pleasure. So as we build up to Sri Radhastami, we look deep within and we say, how can we develop or how can we build this relationship with Srimati Radharani? Now, if you've been to Vrindavan, how many of you have had the good fortune to go to Vraja Dham, Sri Vrindavan Dham? And you'd see the trees, you'd see those trees that are marked with the symbol Radhe, Shri Radhe, right? So Vraja Vrindavan, it belongs to Krishna. But when you go there, how do people greet you? Who can tell me? Radhe, Radhe, lovingly so, lovingly so. They greet you, Radhe, 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 happy in these little groves, in these little pathways going to Loy Bazaar, right? Or even going to the Radha Madan Mohan temple, going to Radha Damodar temple, Radha Damodar, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madhava, Radha Radhanath. As Srila Prabhupada said, remember earlier, the post box and the letter. So even though we are sitting here in Radha Radhanath temple, it's still the same energy is there because the energy and the energetic. And we are sitting here, so we should say Radhe, Radhe. Let's chant Radhe, Radhe. Louder. Radhe, Radhe. And that's the mood of Raja. So nobody's coming to you saying Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna in Vrindavan. They're shouting out for Radharani. And it would be the rickshawalas, it would be anyone, even shopkeepers, it could be the pandas at the temples. Who are they calling out for? Radhe, Radhe. Why Radhe? Because when they say Radhe, who looks? Krishna looks. Who's calling my pleasure potency? Who's calling my expansion? Who is this person that's uttering Radhe, Radhe? And when Krishna looks, you attract the Sachidananda. You attract Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So actually this process is very simple. When we chant the holy names, and I was actually just remembering this morning that we haven't had the good fortune to go to Sri Vrindavan Dham since the start of the pandemic. And when you go to Vrindavan, it's such a different energy. And that is why I've asked how many of you seated here have been. Because for those of us who have been, we're fortunate. And for those of us who have not been yet, I'd like for you to experience this mood of Vrindavan through this class. Because Srimati Radharani is present all around Vrindavan. As much as the cowherd boys are there, Krishna's there, the gopis there. But remember, the most prominent gopi is Radha. And just by a stranger saying to you, Radhe, Radhe, your mood is lifted. And you smile and you feel that deep connection. Yes, I'm in Radharani's land. And who is Radharani? The pleasure potency, the expansion of Krishna, the source of that love, the energy for the energetic. Right? So when we delve even right here as we are coming up to Radhastami, when we go into that mood of that divine love of Radha and Krishna, when we go and we bask in that sunshine of the love that Radha has for Krishna, and Krishna reciprocates that love. It's a beautiful reciprocal relationship that we don't often find in this material world. Sometimes for material love, we give and give and give love, and we hope to receive it. We hope that we will have that exchange of love. But with Radha and Krishna, that is a reciprocal loving relationship. So when we look at their loving relationship, when we look at this bhav, When we look at Srimati Radharani being the topmost gopi, we understand that Krishna is fulfilled by her association. Krishna is fulfilled by their pastimes. And we go back to Seva Kunj, and we go back to the pastime of the Rasa Leela. And if I have to take you back to the groves of Rajadam, to all those trees and those barks and the cows and the calves that are walking through Rajadam, you will understand that Radha and Krishna are present. Just like how they are present there, they are present here at Sri Sri Radha Radhanath Temple, and they're present within our homes. Because it's the energy that we actually connect with. It is that divine energy. So, this Adhya Leela also, Srila Prabhupada describes, Krishnadas Kaviraj describes, that her mind, senses and body are steeped in love for Krishna. She is Krishna's own energy, and she helps him in his pastimes. So ultimately, they're one in the same, but she is even more precious because she is the energy. She is the source of divine love. Now, as we look at Radha Astami and the Astami that's coming up, her birthday, if we want to put it in our own words, she appears, Sri Radha appears 15 days after Janmastami, after Krishna's appearance. And she's no ordinary girl, no ordinary child. She had appeared when her father, King Vrishabhanu, had gone to the Yamuna River in an area called Raval. And Vrishabhanu was taking bath in the Yamuna River one morning, and he sees the lotus leaf, a lotus leaf floating by with this beautiful girl, very, very beautiful girl, floating in the river of the Yamuna. And of course, if you see a child floating in the river, you're not going to abandon that child. So he takes this baby home, and he presents this baby girl to his wife, Mother Kirtida. And she's so excited that there's this beautiful baby who has appeared and has come to their home. And her best friend, Yashodamai, Mother Yashoda, hears that Kirtida has had a baby girl or has a baby girl in her home. So Nanda Baba, Nanda Maharaj, Mother Yashoda and baby Krishna go to visit Vrishabhanu and Kirtida. But however, during this time, Kirtida has noticed that this beautiful, beautiful baby girl doesn't open her eyes. Her eyes are closed, and she's concerned. Mother Kirtida is concerned because this baby, she's beautiful, but her eyes are tightly shut. And she's in her cradle. And the friends, Nanda, Yashoda, baby Krishna come to visit. And Radharani is in her cradle. And knowing our little naughty Kanhaiya Lal, he crawls and he goes to the cradle and he lifts himself up. When he lifts himself up and he tucks in to see who's this girl now, this new baby in the cradle, and this beautiful baby girl, Krishna goes to check out. And when he peers in the cradle, Radharani opens her eyes. So, and it's beautifully described, this pastime is beautifully described, that right from birth, she's only had eyes for Krishna. She's wanted to see nothing else in this material world. And he comes to visit her in her home of Kirtida and Vrishabhanu. That is why she's known as Vrishabhanu Nandini, one of her many names. And from that point, their pastimes continue. So that they could enjoy each other's company, if we want to call it colloquially. They could share all these beautiful pastimes for us. We could prepare for Janmastami, prepare for Radhastami. And as devotees or as servants in that mood to say, how can we serve you? How can we make Radhastami better? What can we do for Srimati Radharani? Because whatever we do that pleases her ultimately pleases Krishna. So that source of divine love is there within Srimati Radharani. And all we can do is with this limitless jivas that are all around all of us, right? The limitless jivas, that we could bask in the ray of sunshine, in that energy that the divine couple is sharing with us. We could bask in that glory. We could take that same energy, we could take that same mood of Radhe Radhe in our daily lives. And we could change. We could shift our energy. We could chant the holy names. When we're chanting the holy names, if we chant with that love, Radha and Krishna give us their ultimate glance. And that's all we need. We don't need anything more in our life, because that spiritual love is reciprocal. That spiritual love will never hurt. That spiritual love will never give us pain. That is guaranteed. The Acharyas have guaranteed that Krishna will never, never give us pain. Radharani will never give us pain. So when we approach the mood of Radhastami coming up in this way, and we're going to sing a little bhajan in a moment, to take us to, build us up to the mood of Radhastami. And when we look at the glories of these gopis, the ultimate gopi being Sri Radha, we understand that this love is so pure. That this divine love, when we chant the Hare Krishna mantra, please join me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That Hare brings Srimati Radharani. And Hare Krishna, always first. And when we approach in that mood, when we approach Krishna in that mood, that Maha Mantra is begging, Krishna, please let me be of service to you. Krishna, please cast your glance along my way. Krishna, please use me as an instrument. But before Krishna is Radha. So actually, these are opportunities that we have to connect to that divine love. Next weekend, as we use this week to reflect, and I think reflection is very, very important. We go through our days and we go through life in such a busy, mundane way. Many of us, not all, many of us are stuck in a very mundane routine. And we don't take the time to reflect. Or rather, sometimes we're too afraid to reflect. Because on what we reflect, we will understand we're not happy with where we're at. And that's human nature. We are fearful. So when we take those moments to reflect, we understand in life what we are doing right and I wouldn't say what we're doing wrong, right? What's working well and what we can change to get better. So sometimes when we reflect, and let's use this next week, let's use this next few days before we head up to Radhastami, to reflect. Take that time out to reflect. And say, okay, this is where I am in my spiritual life. This is where I am in my material life. This is where I am in whichever, my personal life. How can I get better? What steps do I need to take to actually progress in the right way, in the path that I want to head? And in that way, pray to the source of divine love. Pray to the source of divine energy. Pray to the Ladhini Shakti of Krishna. And ask her, please Srimati Radharani, I beg for your mercy upon Radhastami to give me the guidance, give me the courage to become a better devotee, to seek this inward courage that I need to go forward in my spiritual life. Because remember, as we said, as Srila Prabhupada has said, that the spiritual love is never disappointing. So when we have a heart full of spiritual love, every other aspect of our life we find contentment. And that Ladhini Shakti, that Samvit that we spoke about, the three energies, the Sandhini, the Samvit, and the Ladhini Shakti. The Samvit, which is allowing all of us that divine love or that conduit to Krishna. Let's attract that energy. So I'd like to ask you, before we go on to this beautiful bhajan, Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. You know the bhajan? Well, I'm going to put the lyrics up on the screen so you could also sing. And I always find this one bhajan just goes deep down into your soul. It touches your heart. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. And I'm not the best singer by far. But with your help, we can get into this mood of Vrindavan. We could get into this mood of Rajha, of attracting this names, call out these beautiful names, this limitless names, Vashana Rani, Vraja Sundari, Vrishabhanu Nandini, whichever other names that you know of Srimati Radharani, call out, attract this divine love into your heart. It's easily accessible. Srila Prabhupada, our acharyas here, when we look at this bhajan, Srila Prabhupada, or rather, if I have to just give you a background, Srila Rupa Goswami, one of our great acharyas, has given us this bhajan, Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. And this is from Sri Radhika Stav by Srila Rupa Goswami. And Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. It's actually, I'm not sure if it's up on the, can you see it? Is it visible? Very lightly so. And Srila Rupa Goswami says, glories, glories, Radhe, right? Jaya, Jaya, Madhava. Glories, glories to Srimati Radharani, the beloved of Madhava and most worshipable of the cowherd girls of Gokula Mandala. Now remember, we said that Radharani was the topmost gopi. So she is the most worshipable girl, decorated. Okay, I'm just going to, and thank you to Vraja Sundari for putting together these slides for me. So we'll go through the translation first so we can appreciate this bhajan when we sing it together in a moment. So it goes, Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate, Gokula Tarune Mandhala Mayite. Glories, glories to Srimati Radharani, the beloved of Madhava and the most worshipable of the cowherd girls of Gokul Mandala. So she is the most worshipable. You know the cowherd boys, the gopas? She is the most worshipable gopi. Damodara Rati Varadhana Vese Harina Sukate Vrindhavana Vipinese. Decorated by the dress of Lord Damodar's increasing ecstasy. You are the lady of the house of Lord Hari and the groves of Vrindavan. And this is by Srila Rupa Goswami, who beautifully describes Radharani. Vrishabhanu Dadi Navashashi Leke Lalita Sakhi Guna Ramita Vishakhe. From the ocean of Vrishabhanu has arisen a new moon, which is overwhelming the qualities of Lalita and Vishaka. So there you go. We spoke about the pastime of Radharani's birth and how she was found in the Yamuna River by Vrishabhanu Dadi. So this is Vrishabhanu Nandini being found, the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, and has arisen a new moon. New moon brings new energy, which is overwhelming the qualities of Lalita and Vishaka, the two other gopis that we were speaking about, the prominent gopis. Karunam karumahi karuna bharite, sanata sanatan varina charite, Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. O goddess, your qualities are described by Shanaka Rishi and by Sanatan Goswami. Please bestow your mercy upon me. And this is by Sri Rupa Goswami. So I'd like to invite you with this mood of Radhastami, coming up. Let's take in this bhajan. It's such a beautiful way to imbibe the mood. And even when you sing from the heart. So I've tried to make it simple, to have it up for you, because I want you to join in. And let's bring in this divine energy. Let's really connect with the super soul, because Krishna is seated there. But before Krishna, it's Radha. Before we go on, it's going to be Aarti pretty soon. Are there any questions, comments, thoughts, realizations that you'd like to share? Yes. Yes, please.
Since Srimati Radharani is the closest to Lord Krishna, by surrendering to Srimati Radharani, it's easier for her to recommend us to Lord Shri Krishna. So she is the one that actually, our gurus advise us that we should actually serve Srimati Radharani first to get to Lord Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. That's such a wonderful point, that by approaching Radharani, it's easy, as I said earlier, that when you knock on Radharani's door and she's happy, she'll put a good word to Krishna for you. So with that mood of approaching Radhastami, and we have Radhastami, the Pushpa Abhishek after 7 years, right here at the Shri Shri Radha Radhanath. Pushpa means flowers. So, and we all are able to serve Radharani by breaking flower petals next week, Saturday, from around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. Flowers will be available, and if you're keen, after this class, if this class has inspired you to even sponsor some flowers, that would be even more wonderful. So contact one of our temple resident devotees, contact the book table if you feel keen and inspired. I want to do something for Radharani's birthday. Let's sponsor a kilo of flowers, flower petals that can be bathed, the Pushpa Abhishek for next week. On Radhastami, where we're going to bathe their Lordship Shri Shri Radha Radhanath with a ton almost of flower petals. And after 7 years, I remember it was many years ago, and in my service, the front page of a national newspaper had the picture of the Pushpa Abhishek of Shri Shri Radha Radhanath. My dad seated here at the back. I said to him, make sure you get a nice picture, and I submitted it to the newspaper. And the next morning, it was on the front page of a national newspaper. Their Lordship Shri Shri Radha Radhanath, I think it was Parthasarathi Maharaj, was in that picture also, bathing the deities. And so many thousands of people unknowingly got their mercy because they saw them in the newspaper. So it's our opportunity. If we do not want to sponsor, if we don't have the capacity, come here and offer that personal service, because every time you pluck that petal, that same petals are going to be bathed. That's personal service. Sometimes we don't get a chance to bathe the Lord in Abhishek. We can't, but these petals from your hands are going to be able to go onto the altar next week. And then Radhastami is on Sunday the 4th. So we look forward to having your association and spread the word. Mercy comes in numbers. So on that note, Alanath Prabhu is okay, even though there's Aarti. Okay, so, and this is a perfect time because their Lordship Shri Shri Radha Radhanath will be open for us. We can look at the deities and we can take in this beautiful bhajan. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Gokula Tarane Mandala Mahete Gokula Tarane Mandala Mahete Gokula Tarane Mandala Mahete Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Madhava Dayate Damodara Rati Varadhana Vese Harina Sakidun Vrinda Vipinese Damodara Rati Varadhana Vese Harina Sukha Devrinda Vipinese Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Vrishabhanudhadi Navasakilete Lalita Shakti Gurna Vipinese